receive a new package of mats, it is important that you follow a few steps to prepare the mat for that first cut. If you follow the instructions that I give you in this tutorial, you will make your mat last longer and it will be easier to remove the paper after cutting a project. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make that mat work for you. Before you remove the plastic cover from the mat, you should take a permanent marker and write the word "top" on the plastic cover. There is a right and wrong side to the plastic cover. If you put the cover on backwards, you may remove some of the adhesive coating on the mat. So this is a very important step. Next, you want to press that adhesive that has been sprayed on the mat into the plastic. You can use a credit card, the chisel tool from the Inspiration Toolkit, or my favorite tool is the mat scraper. It has a nice broad flat surface. Start at the top and pull down, pressing firmly, and cover the entire mat surface. You only need to do this 1 or 2 times. Remove the clear cover from the mat, but set it aside in a safe spot. You will always want to cover your mat when you're not using it. Now, pat all over the surface of the mat with your hands. The oils on your hands will help neutralize some of the stickiness. Don't worry, this will not shorten the life of your mat. Then, take a sheet of smooth cardstock. Don't use anything that will leave residue. Place it gently on your mat. Don't press down too hard. And lift it off. Repeat this step at least 10 times. I keep a piece of cardstock that I reuse anytime I get a new mat. You should start to feel the paper lifting more easily off of the mat. That will tell you that it is prepared and ready to use. If you're not going to cut right away, make sure that you cover your mat and double check so that the word "top" is showing and readable. When you first use your mat, I recommend that you only cut cardstock. As the adhesive starts to tone down on the mat, you can start cutting paper, but in the beginning, only cut cardstock. Make sure that you properly load the mat. Apply a little bit of pressure against the end of the mat as you press the load/unload button. Never ever yank the mat out when you are done cutting. Always use the load/unload button. Also, if you reverse your mat with every other cutting, you will save wear and tear on your mat. We have a tendency to cut on our mat in one spot, usually the top right corner. You can save wear and tear on your mat by making sure to rotate your mat and also move to a different area of the mat while you're cutting. This won't work if you are cutting an entire page, but it will work if you're cutting a smaller object. You can move the carriage to a different area by using the directional arrows. In this way, you can cut even in the middle of the mat, and that will make your mat last longer. After you've used your mat for a while, you will begin to see fibers and little cut pieces. And you want to make sure that your mat is clean so that your cuts are clean. If you have little pieces of paper stuck on the mat, when the blade goes over it, it may not cut all the way through the paper. The first thing that you can do is scrape off the little pieces. You can use the chisel tool or the mat scraper to scrape off these larger pieces. In this case, my mat still has a lot of residue on it. So I am going to take a lint roller and roll over the surface of the mat and pick up some more of those small pieces. There will come a point in time when it seems that you cannot clean your mat in these two manners. And there is one more way that you can make your mat last longer and clean it. You can also give your mat a bath, and this will wash away some of that fine powdery residue that sometimes gets on your mat from a project. You want to use a mild soap and lukewarm to warm water, not hot. I like to use the foaming soap. And I just gently rub all over my mat. You don't want to use any kind of harsh cleaner, just a mild soap. And then run it under your water and use your hand to work out some of those fibers that are stubborn and don't want to be removed. Once you are done, shake off the excess water and then leave the mat to dry in a vertical position. Don't dry it with a towel. You might leave some lint from the towel. Just let it air dry.